Often Dharma talks are quite repetitive. Longpo Sumedho has probably given the same Dharma talk every week for years, and yet people travel great distances to hear him speak. And there is an element of people wanting to have the medal of hearing a famous monk speak, especially one that's very close to dying. But there's more to it than that, not least from Longpo Sumedho's point of view. He gives the same talk because for him, present moment awareness is everything. Everything for him is in the present moment, and he brings everything to the present moment, and there's a need to hear this. It's not like we download the Longpo Sumedho Dharma talk in our head. It doesn't work like that. We need to be reminded, and for me, I needed to remind myself of my old preceptor Ajahn Amaro's favourite phrase. Well, he likes a phrase. One of his favourite phrases is, don't just do something, sit there. And I quite like phrases that are sort of a play on a familiar phrase, but there really is wisdom in that. And I've been struggling with some thoughts and patterns of thinking and observations and stuff, and I was trying to fix what was happening, and I was tying myself in knots trying to fix an unfixable problem, and that leads to frustration. But rather than thinking of solutions, I should have stopped thinking. I forgot all about everything I knew for a quite a long period of time, and because I was lost in thought. I don't know how long I was away, and for me that's shows that even if we've been going to Dharma talks, or in my case attempting to give Dharma talks, we still need to check in very regularly with the words and the teachings that help us, rereading the same books that have helped us. And I'm not saying that one book is better than the other, and I'm certainly not going to answer questions on what's the right book for someone, which is a question that I've heard too many times in places like these. It's whatever's works. There's no secret. Just like good health is focused on moving more, stretching more, eating the foods that we know are good for us. If we do that, then we're 90% of the way there. But we like to distract ourselves with intricacies and stuff when really if we're getting the major things right, then we're doing all right. And it's the same for spiritual teachers. We don't need to find a particularly good book or a particularly relevant topic. We don't need a teacher to speak directly to us. We can should be able to pick up any book and enjoy it and see the merit of it, and any teaching ultimately points to the same truth. So whatever you've got to hand would usually be good enough, and just sitting and reading any spiritual book is time well spent. It's certainly a better way to spend time than many other activities. You're not causing harm to anyone. You're not causing mischief. You're sitting quietly, and that in itself is good to quiet the mind. So I just wanted to share that phrase. I may have said that phrase before, but don't just do something, sit there, is advice that I'm giving to myself quite a lot today. Also, I might talk for a little bit of time. I've only been talking for a few minutes about physical health and mental health. I did actually think of an analogy earlier today. Usually I think of analogies early on a Wednesday morning, and invariably I've forgotten them by the time it comes to talk. But I've actually remembered one today. It was a mechanic, and he prides himself on physical health. He goes to the gym, he does his yoga, he eats. Kale is his favourite food. He's doing all right, but one day an engine falls on him when it fell from the engine crane, and it crushed his ribs. But rather than going to the hospital, he tried to work out how the engine fell on him, and that's obviously a daft thing. While someone needs to stop it happening again, the priority is seeking medical attention, and for physical health that seems to make sense, and people do this. But for mental health, if someone mentally injures us with harsh words or any one of a number of ways we can be mentally or emotionally injured, just because we prioritise our mental health doesn't mean that we're immune to mental injuries. Just in the same way that mechanic, although he did everything right on the physical level, he's still prone to injuries. It's the nature of being alive, and when we live in a physical world, we will be physically injured, and people are more emotional creatures than physical creatures. So we're often of the nature to be mentally injured, emotionally injured, and while emotional injuries can be damaging, they don't affect us physically until they really are quite profound emotional injuries. So if we've got quite emotionally heavy tasks to do, we shouldn't use physical capability as a measure. If we've got an emotionally hard time, whether in our work or in our home life, being physically capable of doing things when we're emotionally injured is just as daft as reciting your times tables if there's an engine on you, to say that you've still got your mental faculty. It's like, well, that's not the issue. So we need to, we all need to look at our emotional health as something that needs to be addressed, whether there are physical symptoms or not. And one way of doing that, the treatment and the cure, is to not just do something, but sit there. It's easier said than done, and I'm not the best person at following my own advice sometimes. But yeah, that's what I wanted to speak for today, and that's a bit closer to the normal amount of time that I usually speak for. So, and I'm Odin Sadu. Thank you for coming in. It's really nice to see everyone back again. I did miss it. Thank you.